Welcome to a finished game of Warhammer Gladius. I play with Malkav as the esteemed Space Marines. We play teamed up against another team of 3 on hard difficulty. In this, 2 Space Marine chapters have united to take on Gladius and recover the forbidden Xenos treasures that lie here. Besides Fluff, the point of this game is to annihilate the other enemy by destroying all their other cities. There's also a quest victory that you can get by completing all the story quests, but it's rather hard to do, and it's usually easier just to kill the opponent. My beginning plan is to open up with a bunch of tactical Space Marines and research all the grenades that they get. That will give them many capabilities. Space Marines only get 1 city in this game. You can expand your ability to produce more resources by laying down Fortresses of Redemption next to other resource tiles. You also research new technologies in this game, which will open up new capabilities for units and new units. I'm going to get the frag grenade for our troops so that we have anti-infantry abilities on our tacticals. And here you can see I'm going to drop a Fortress of Redemption, and I'm going to put that so we can get some more influence. Influence is used for doctrines, such as increasing our accuracy in all troops. More accuracy is really good because most of the time your troops will attack with a bunch of attacks. Some of those may miss. With +2 accuracy, you hit more, which means more damage. Expansion goes pretty smooth for myself. We uncover a lot of influence-raising buildings right in the beginning. We also fight off some Chaos Cultists, no big deal. Alright, frag grenades for all of our troops. That's going to make things much easier. So, the next research I grabbed is Reclusium, which produces heroes. But I really want to grab Tactical Doctrine, which will increase our accuracy of all of our tactical marines on the field for 10 turns. That's huge. Space Marines are at a disadvantage. Our cities can only build one thing at a time. So, I want to build things as fast as possible. We build multiple Apothecarions so that we can pump out those tactical Space Marines and later, Devastators. Tactical Doctrine is ours. So it's about this time I make the decision to skip hero production and just use Deploy Tactical Doctrine and produce a bunch of Tactical Marines. This is going to help us do a lot more damage and ignore pesky things like cover and Imperial Ruins. Next up, Crack Grenades, Anti-Vehicle. My first order of business is to close the gap between myself and my friend Malkav, the other Space Marine brother. And as you can see, I'm making my way over to do so. We encounter some Psychnoid and some Chaos Cultists. No big deal for our heavily beefed up platoons, as you can see. In Gladius, you really only want to engage things that you can kill that same turn, or else they'll run away. Another reason is that if you kill them, your troops get experience level up, which means better stats, more damage. Meanwhile, Malkav seems to have encountered all the Kroot Hounds in the entire world. Holy shit. And a bunch of bees up north. The bees! I quickly scoop up Crack Grenade as we expand to the east. I'm going to grab dormitories early because I know we're going to need that sooner rather than later to expand our city population. Okay. Alright, so here we go. We have cultists in a position of pretty good cover, and our guys, even though they have rapid fire at close range, means they're going to deal subpar damage. Grenades get around that. Yep, goodbye, cultists. So, as you can see, our requisitions resources are getting quite low, so I'm building refectionaries. That will generate a lot of requisition for us to recruit more Marines faster. But it's going to slow down our production for probably the next 4, 5, 6 turns probably, and that's going to be okay because it's going to allow for an economy boom and the deploying of, double these forces, which means, conquering more resource nodes. So we'll get to a light tussle here, but nothing our Marines cannot handle. In the meantime, a roving band of Castellan robots has come upon our capital. Now, our capital is definitely going to be able to take it on, but because it gets damaged a little bit by the Castellans, our economy kind of gets tanked a little bit. So that's alright, we'll just have to deal with it. At least it won't kill any of my troops. Alright, we help Malkav finally clear out the rest of his eastern division. Just sniping a little base that'll spawn those nasty Catachan devils. With the east being taken care of, it's time to expand to the west. We encounter some light resistance in the form of Kroot Hounds. Again, these guys are going to fall really quickly to bolter fire. Now, on the other hand, we can't overwatch them down and prevent them from attacking us, because they have the infiltrate ability. But that's okay. We'll be able to handle that. In the meantime, I just redirect everyone else home. Research is going swimmingly. I collect the Librarian upgrade, which is a hero that has a lot of useful psychic powers. More of a support hero than anything. And the next choice is hard. Tier 4 had so many good doctrines, upgrades to our troops, but Kraken Bolts are the most immediately useful, as they allow our tactical marines to hit much harder. So we start working on that. Our frag grenade research really pays off here. We enable ourselves to have better accuracy, which also helps the grenades, and then we take out all of these Kroot Hounds. It was awesome. Alright, we picked up Kraken Bolts. Now, the next one's kind of a tough choice, but orbital relays will allow us to build buildings much faster, which means a faster economy, faster units. We want that very badly. And we expand into the west with a good old Fortress of Redemption, and just using Overwatch here to pick on the Vespids and kill the bees. The orbital relay is ours. Excellent. So, the obvious thing to do is to either get Melta Bombs or Devastator Doctrine, and I really want to start producing Devastators soon. They're going to allow us to siege very quickly. I have two triads of tactical space marines exploring to the south, on either side of this mountain range. Alright, Devastator production is in full swing. These guys can hit cities and vehicles so hard and from 3 spaces away. Devastator Marines' really only downfall is that whenever they move, they lower their accuracy by about 4, I believe, for their weapons, so they don't hit as hard. And here's our opponents. So, Devastator Doctrine is pretty damn good. With everything I explained about Devastators, them moving and losing accuracy, this actually offsets that by a bunch. So the next thing to do is to make our troops even beefier with extra infantry armor. And here's one of our opponents, the Orks. Frag crack. And shortly after, we discover Baishi, the Astra Militarum. The Astra Militarum, in my opinion, is much more threatening than the Orks, so I'm going to really bring down quite a bit of Devastators here and create a firing line. Alright, so we're moving in, encroaching on their topmost city here, and the key to assaulting a city is to make sure your troops are able to overwatch from the most defensible terrain, such as the Imperial Ruins, forests. You want to really reduce that range damage as much as you can, and that way if they try to move melee troops against your guys that have ranged attacks, you can overwatch them down first, which would reduce any strength they have before they attack. So really, the key to assault is to prevent as much damage as you can from striking their territory. Well, everyone seems to be making an appearance all at once. Here is the Tyranids, and I think they are allying with the Orks just down below where Malkav's fighting, so he has his work cut out for him. For research, I'm going to grab the Melta Bomb. That's going to allow all of our troops to be converted into anti-vehicle troops. Alright, breaking into their city. So our 6th Tactical Platoon takes the opening volley of fire, and I just wanted to see what they had. So, thankfully we have all of our accuracy up and running. We're bringing in our Devastators here. I want to probably hide them in the Imperial Ruins, take some pot shots at their city. I don't know what vehicles or troops they're going to be bringing from their south, so I've got to be cautious, still reserve some shit. So I'm pretty surprised at this point. No major forces respond to my huge attack on their city. As you can see, I have my Devastators in position. We take out the only guardsman who is protecting the place, and we're going to take out the city without too much problem. I've been hitting this city for 2 turns now, and there's still no response. It's going to go down. So now it's time to cautiously move down, and we already see their next city. We have both of our accuracy doctrines up for all of our troops, so we're simply going to move everybody into the best cover we can, especially our Devastators, and they'll take pot shots at the city. We'll then move in our tactical platoons to provide supplemental fire and take out their troops here that are guarding. I'm still waiting to see like what kind of resistance they can put up. And here they come. Heavy weapon squads, guardsmen out of the woodworks, but it's too late for them to save their city, especially because we just got melta bombs. So from here, as you can see, we're going to pick it off, move everybody in position, pick off some of their like lighter, less wounded heavy infantry squads, and that's it. I think they get in a couple kills here, but nothing we can't recover from. I mean, this has just been my main invasion force. This whole time I've been producing reinforcements. So now, extra infantry armor is going to be ours. Alright, they definitely do some work here, but too little too late. Unfortunately, the troops don't disappear when you kill an AI. They stick around as neutrals. Shit. The positive part is that the AI is drastically altered. For the most part, they're cowardly. If you wound them even a little bit, they'll try to run away to get into better cover, so it's not like they're being more aggressive like they were. This whole time, Malkav has just been fighting the Orks and Tyranid forces that are kind of combined, since it's myself and him allied against these 3 AI. But his Captain Bugfucker has been doing pretty well with his squad of Marines. Just a bunch of attacks here, backed up by a Devastator. So well done. With the Astra Militarum gone, I begin moving my army to the east again, to help Malkav's forces, who are kind of being pinchered a little bit by the Orks and Tyranids, but he still seems to be doing really well in his own. So in this time, I've gotten my own Captain and Librarian out, Librarian Bugsucker and Captain Bugsticker. Time to hunt some Nids. At this time, I've also captured 2 mobile holoprojectors. That's granting our troops a lot more hit points. I believe 20% to be exact. Alright boys, we're in Ork country now. As you can see, myself and Malkav are now pincering the AI. The Orks don't have much troops here as they're being destroyed from both sides. There's not really a lot of cover, they're just fighting in no man's lands. So we're going to drive deep. So I quickly drive down to a Tyranid outpost, and we nail it with some Devastators and finish it off with Orbital Strike. The Nids and the Orks put up a hell of a fight right here, but their morale is just trash because we keep killing so many of their units. So their accuracy goes down because their morale is down, which means they can't hit and deal damage to us really effectively. So it's just a matter of, hitting them hard with the Devastators, then mopping up with our tacticals. And here's kind of a critical fight scene. The Orks and the Nids really held us off here at Ukaz, the Ork city. But I managed to sneak in my Librarian and Shockwave, as you saw right there, and that took out a large number of forces and pinned the Biovore, which is the Tyranid artillery unit. From there, we move in for our Devastators, and we're going to hit the city hard. But the Nids don't stop. The Tyranids send in Zoanthropes and warriors here to fight us, and my Librarian is looking dangerously low. Unfortunately, I end my turn and they kill my Librarian. Damn it. But we get Bolter Drill, which gives us another +2 accuracy, making all of our tacticals extremely deadly. Then we get our revenge for our Librarian, demolishing Ukaz, the infamous Ork city. So we run up on 2 Ork cities that we will actually have the high ground on. Normally, with other races only have like a range of 2, it's a disadvantage. For Space Marines though, with our Devastators having a range of 3, this is perfect. We'll be able to hit these 2 cities really fast. So, I park our Devastators atop this cliff and we just begin barraging this damn place with Lasfire. And it works out really good. The Ork melee forces can't even reach us. Their war boss can't do shit from down there. And in the meantime, I start moving my tacticals over to assault the next city. And the Devastators devastate Rockclaw. Malkav, meanwhile, is going to mop up these survivors with his chaplain, who is happy wielding his heavy flamer. The other Ork city is so close to this cliff face that it's a simple matter of just moving over our Devastators over probably 2 or 3 spaces? Oh yeah, the Tyranids start producing flying units, but yeah, this goes down. And goodbye, Orks. As my teammate Malkav points out, the Tyranids seem to have had a rough start location. They compounded this situation by then choosing to expand into their allies instead of going west and then north. So this next phase just takes a while because we're just so cramped. But we get their first city, no problem. So as you can see, we're just shoulder to shoulder here. It's not a hard fight. We have some of the most advanced troops you can get for the Space Marines, and we're just mowing through everything. But we're kind of waiting for each other to move the other's troops. So I'm trying to get in range for my Devastators, and he's trying to move his slower Terminators into the actual front of the battlefield. And Turvithoid falls without too much struggle, besides our struggle for space. And so I get orbital deployment, which would allow me to deploy newly built troops via drop pod onto the battlefield, but it's a little late for that, as we're pretty much finishing off the Tyranid AI right here. Or so we think. And so there's 2 more Tyranid cities over here, but we take them all down. And victory is assured for the 2 Space Marine chapters. Victory. The Emperor protects. Well, this was pretty fun. Gladius is an excellent war game with tons of tactics and strategy. You have to very carefully maneuver your troops for cover, watch for opportunities to fire, don't expose yourself to too much of the unknown. And honestly, what really worked in this game for us, or at least for myself, was focusing on the tacticals so early and giving them as much accuracy and options such as frag grenades and crack grenades. Really worked out. Devastators were just, you know, the Doombringers. Well, I hope you guys have enjoyed your stay with this little war game. And if you enjoyed yourselves, consider throwing your warlord a couple of bones on Patreon or PayPal. It would be most appreciated and helps fuel my enthusiasm for making more of these videos. So, I will see you guys on more finished games.